So we're diving into the unsolved murder of Tammy Zywicki.
Yeah.
And this deep dive, it's really interesting. It's not just about the mystery itself,
Right.
but about all the amazing efforts people have made to keep Tammy's memory alive
Yeah.
and try to find her killer.
It's remarkable. This case seems to have really touched so many people,
Yeah.
even those who never even knew Tammy personally.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think it's kind of a testament to the power of hope.
Right.
And the determination to seek justice.
Yeah.
And just the incredible impact that one person can have on the world.
It is. And it all started with Tammy's journey back to Grinnell College for her senior year.
Right.
She was driving from New Jersey, dropped her brother off at Northwestern University in Illinois, and then her car, a white 1985 Pontiac T1000, broke down on Interstate 80.
What's so strange is that, like, despite all these witnesses who saw Tammy with her broken down car, she vanished. It's almost like she disappeared into thin air.
Right. You would think with that many people around, someone would have seen something.
Yeah.
But sadly, 9 days later, Tammy's body was found hundreds of miles away in Missouri.
Yeah. Wrapped in a blanket and duct tape.
Yeah.
And the truck driver who found her initially gave conflicting stories about why he stopped.
Right. It's those details that send chills down your spine. Like what was he doing there? Why the different stories?
Right.
The autopsy revealed Tammy's cause of death was multiple stab wounds.
It's a brutal reminder of the violence of this crime.
Yeah.
And here we are 30 years later and still no official suspects or arrests.
I know it's baffling, but there are some leads, right?
Right.
Like that tractor trailer and the description of the driver.
Yes. There were multiple witnesses who reported seeing a tractor trailer with brownish orange stripes.
Wow.
Near Tammy's car. They described the driver as a white man, about 6 feet tall with dark, bushy hair.
Okay.
Somewhere between 35 and 40 years old.
Gotcha.
Plus, Tammy's camera and a unique musical wristwatch were missing, which makes you wonder if the killer took them deliberately.
Yeah, you have to wonder if those items, like, meant something to the killer.
Right.
Or were just random things,
Yeah.
taken to panic. But here's the thing that I find most compelling about this case.
Okay.
Despite the lack of answers, there's this incredible community that's emerged around Tammy, dedicated to keeping her story alive, finding justice.
Absolutely.
It's like a ripple effect of her life, reaching out across time.
And a key part of that is the Who Killed Tammy Zywicki Facebook group.
Yeah.
It's been instrumental in keeping the case in the spotlight, generating new leads, keeping the pressure on investigators.
It's amazing how social media can connect people in this way, like turning a shared tragedy into a driving force for change.
Yeah, yeah.
But it goes beyond the online world, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about those motorcycle rides held in Tammy's memory.
Yes. So there's one in Illinois.
Wow.
And another in South Carolina, organized by people who were touched by Tammy's story.
That's wild.
And they want to keep her memory alive.
2 different states connected by this shared desire for justice. It's truly remarkable.
And the impact of these rides is huge. They raise awareness, they bring people together, and they provide a sense of community and shared purpose in the face of such a senseless loss.
And then there's the Tammy Zywicki Memorial Game. Right.
So Tammy was a talented soccer player at Eastside High School in Taylor, South Carolina.
Gotcha.
And now they hold an annual memorial game in her honor.
Wow.
Keeping her spirit alive in the place where she grew up.
It's a beautiful way to honor her passion for soccer and the impact she had on her community. Speaking of impact, we have to mention Robert Kotlarek.
Yeah.
He's an archaeologist.
Right.
And you might be thinking, what does archaeology have to do with this?
Yeah.
But his analytical skills and his way of connecting seemingly unrelated pieces of information have been incredibly helpful in growing the Facebook group and keeping the case in the public eye.
He's a real asset to the group.
Yeah.
His dedication to Tammy's case is it's amazing.
It's proof that sometimes the most unexpected people can make the biggest difference.
It just goes to show you never know where help might come from. Everyone has something unique to offer.
Right. Okay, so we've got this amazing community working to find answers for Tammy. But what's the latest with the official investigation?
Well, there's some cautious optimism surrounding DNA evidence. Advancements in technology have allowed investigators to re-examine old evidence. We haven't heard about any major breakthroughs publicly, but you never know what they might find.
It's like a glimmer of hope, a reminder that even after all these years, the truth might still be uncovered.
Right.
Speaking of hope, it's incredible how Tammy's legacy lives on, not just through the search for her killer, but in the way she continues to inspire people.
Exactly. And her story is a reminder that we should never take our safety for granted, especially when traveling alone.
Yeah, you're so right. But it's also a reminder that we can make a difference. We can come together, we can support each other, and we can seek justice even when the odds feel insurmountable.
Right. Even the smallest bit of information could be the missing piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
If you have any information related to Tammy's case, please contact the Illinois State Police Division of Criminal Investigations Zone 3 at 815-726-6377.
And the FBI Chicago Field Division is 312-421-6700. You can remain anonymous if you prefer.
Don't hesitate to reach out. You never know what small detail could crack this case wide open.
And for those of you listening, we really encourage you to check out the Who Killed Tammy Zywicki Facebook group. It's full of information about the case.
Yeah.
And you can connect with other people who are just as passionate about finding answers.
It's inspiring to see the dedication of so many people refusing to let Tammy's memory fade away.
It's a true testament to the power of community and the unwavering belief in justice. So with that in mind, let's delve a little deeper into this Facebook group.
All right. So let's unpack what makes this group so special.
Yeah.
What stands out to you?
Well, for me, it's the way they've managed to keep the case alive for all these years.
Yeah.
Not just by sharing news and updates, but by fostering a genuine sense of community and purpose. They're not just passively waiting for answers. They're actively seeking them out.
Yeah, you're spot on. They've created a space where people can share their thoughts, their theories, their memories of Tammy.
Yeah.
And it's not just about speculation. They've actually generated some really credible leads that have been passed on to law enforcement.
That's incredible. It's almost like they've become an extension of the investigation itself.
In a way, yeah. They're supplementing the official efforts with their own research, their own analysis,
right,
and their own network of connections.
Yeah.
And that's something that law enforcement has acknowledged. And even encouraged.
It's a fascinating example of how the public can play an active role in seeking justice, right? And it's not just limited to sharing information online. They've organized these incredible events like the motorcycle rides we talked about.
Yes.
Those rides are truly remarkable.
It's not just about raising awareness. It's about bringing people together, creating a physical manifestation of this online community.
Yeah.
Seeing all those bikers riding in Tammy's honor sends a powerful message. We haven't forgotten.
Yeah.
And we're not going to let this go.
And it's not just the rides. They've also been instrumental in organizing the annual Tammy Zywicki Memorial Soccer game at her old high school.
Right. That game is really special. It's a way to honor Tammy's passion for soccer, but it's also a way to connect with the younger generation, to teach them about Tammy's story.
Right.
And to instill in them the importance of personal safety and community.
It's almost like a torch being passed on, right? A way to ensure that Tammy's memory lives on. Not just in the minds of those who knew her, but in the hearts of those who will never have the chance to meet her.
It's a powerful reminder that even in the face of tragedy, life goes on, and we have a responsibility to carry on the legacies of those we've lost.
And this Facebook group seems to embody that perfectly.
Yeah.
It's a space for grief, for anger, for frustration, but it's also a space for hope, for determination. And for the unwavering belief that justice will eventually prevail.
It's really quite inspiring to see how they've managed to turn such a a horrific event into a catalyst for positive change.
Right.
And I think a lot of that can be attributed to the leadership of individuals like Robert Kotlarek.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
His background as an
This
archaeologist
is so unique.
is so unique in this context. You wouldn't think those skills would be relevant to a murder investigation.
Right.
But his analytical mind and his ability to see patterns and connections have been invaluable to the group.
He's like a detective in his own right.
Yeah.
Meticulously combing through information, looking for any clue that might lead to a breakthrough.
And the group seems to thrive on that kind of energy, that
Yeah.
meticulous attention to detail,
Yeah.
that refusal to let any stone go unturned.
They're not just blindly following leads. They're questioning everything. They're analyzing every piece of information.
Yeah.
And holding on to the belief that somewhere hidden in plain sight is the answer that will solve this case.
It's that kind of dedication that makes this group so effective. They're not just a group of people.
Right.
They're a force to be reckoned with.
They are. Yeah.
And a testament to the power of collective action. I'm truly in awe of their dedication and their impact.
Yeah.
It makes you realize that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, a group of dedicated individuals can make a real difference.
Right. They are proof that hope can endure even in the darkest of times.
Yeah.
And that the pursuit of justice is never truly in vain.
Well, speaking of the pursuit of justice, we need to delve into those persistent leads in this case. We touched on the tractor trailer and the driver description earlier,
Right.
but there's more to unpack there.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole issue of Tammy's missing camera and wristwatch.
Absolutely. Those details have become almost iconic in this case, sparking countless theories and speculation. Let's explore those deeper and see what insights we can glean. Let's start with that tractor trailer. Multiple witnesses placing it near Tammy's car.
Yeah.
Pretty significant, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. And the description of the driver, white male, late 30s, early 40s, tall with dark bushy hair, it's fairly detailed. It's got to make you wonder, why haven't they been able to track him down?
Well, think about it. The trucking industry, I mean, it's massive.
Yeah.
Drivers are constantly on the move. Back in 1992, we didn't have the kind of technology that we have now. Right.
To track vehicles and individuals. And even if they had a name, this guy could have easily disappeared, changed his appearance, maybe even assumed a new identity.
It's frustrating to think about, like, those lost years.
Right.
All those potential leads that might have gone cold. It makes you wonder what evidence, if any, actually links this truck and its driver to the crime.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in the image of this, mysterious trucker. But we have to be careful not to jump to conclusions.
Right.
Is it possible this was just a random sighting,
right,
a coincidence?
Sure.
But it's also possible that this is the key to the whole case.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole issue of Tammy's missing camera and watch.
Right.
Do you think those were just random items the killer grabbed?
Yeah.
Or could they be more significant?
Now, that's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Why take those specific things?
The camera, maybe he wanted to get rid of any photos that might identify him, or maybe he kept it as a trophy.
A trophy. That's a chilling thought.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the watch,
yeah,
well, that's even more puzzling. Was it valuable? Was it sentimental?
Right.
Or was there something about its, unique design, the musical feature that caught the killer's attention?
Right.
We may never know, but these missing items add another layer of complexity to the case.
They do. They make you wonder about the killer's motive, their state of mind. Was this a crime of opportunity?
Yeah.
Or was Tammy specifically targeted?
That's $1 million question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's one that the Facebook group has been grappling with, for years.
What have some of their theories been?
Well, some believe that Tammy might have been the victim of a serial killer who preyed on young women traveling alone. This theory gained traction because sadly there were other unsolved murders of young women along interstate highways in the Midwest around the same time.
So the idea is that Tammy's murder might fit a larger pattern,
Yeah.
a horrifying one at that.
Exactly. And while there's no concrete evidence to link Tammy's case to any other specific murders, it's definitely a possibility that investigators have explored.
Right.
And the Facebook group has been very active in researching those other cases, looking for any potential connections.
It's like a massive crowdsourced investigation, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah.
And have they come up with any other theories?
Oh, absolutely. Another theory is that Tammy might have been abducted by someone she knew,
Okay.
someone she trusted enough to get into a car with.
That's terrifying to think about.
It is.
Someone she might have met earlier in her trip, maybe at a gas station or a rest stop.
Mm,
It makes you wonder about the nature of trust
right.
and how easily we can be deceived, especially when we're in unfamiliar surroundings.
Precisely. And remember, statistically, a significant percentage of violent crimes are committed by people known to the victim.
Yeah.
It's a stark reminder that that danger can come from unexpected sources.
Okay, so we've got the serial killer theory, the acquaintance theory,
Yeah.
and of course there's the truck driver theory.
Right.
That always seems to come up in cases like this.
Right. And it's understandable why that theory has gained traction, right?
Yeah.
We've got the witness accounts of the tractor trailer and
Right.
and truck drivers, by the nature of their job, are often on the road alone, traveling long distances.
But wouldn't that like make them easier to track? I mean, they have to
Huh.
log their hours, their routes, their deliveries.
You'd think so, but back then it wasn't as simple as tracking a GPS signal.
Right.
Plus, think about the sheer number of truck drivers out there. It's like searching for a needle in a haystack,
Right.
especially after all this time.
And it makes you wonder if investigators initially focused too heavily on the truck driver theory, maybe overlooking other possibilities in those crucial early days of the investigation.
That's always a risk in high-profile cases, isn't it? The pressure to find answers,
Right.
to make an arrest,
Yeah.
can sometimes lead investigators down the wrong path,
Right.
or cause them to dismiss evidence that doesn't fit the prevailing narrative.
Yeah, it's a sobering thought. But back to the Facebook group for a moment.
Hmm.
How do they handle all these different theories?
Yeah.
Do they ever get bogged down in speculation and infighting?
Well, it's a delicate balance for sure. They encourage open discussion and debate, but they also have moderators who keep things respectful and focused on the facts.
Okay.
And they're very careful about not spreading rumors or
Yeah.
misinformation.
So it's a space for serious inquiry,
Right.
not just wild speculation.
Exactly, and I think that's one of the reasons why they've been so successful, right? They've managed to harness the collective intelligence of the group while maintaining a sense of integrity and purpose.
It's really remarkable. When we first started talking with this case, I was struck by how the community has responded, not just with grief and outrage, but with this incredible determination to find answers.
Right.
It's like Tammy's story has become a shared responsibility.
You're absolutely right, and I think it speaks to the power of human connection, the need to make sense of tragedy, and the belief that even in the face of senseless violence, good can prevail.
It's incredibly moving to see how people have come together, not just to mourn Tammy's loss, but to actively participate in the search for her killer. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the official investigation. It's been 30 years.
Yeah.
What are the challenges of solving a cold case like this?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is simply the passage of time. Witnesses' memories fade, evidence deteriorates, and people move on with their lives.
Right. It's like trying to piece together a puzzle where some of the pieces are missing and others have been damaged beyond recognition.
Exactly. And then there's the issue of resources, right? Law enforcement agencies often have limited budgets,
Right.
and staffing,
Right.
and they have to prioritize cases. Right.
Based on solvability and the potential for prosecution.
Right.
So sadly, cold cases often end up on the back burner.
It's heartbreaking to think about those cases gathering dust on a shelf somewhere.
Right.
The victims and their families denied justice because of a lack of resources.
It is.
Yeah.
But despite the challenges, there have been some incredible advancements in cold case investigations,
Right.
particularly in the realm of DNA technology.
That's right. We talked about how investigators have been able to re-examine old evidence in Tammy's case, hoping to find new clues using these advanced techniques.
And it's not just about, analyzing old evidence. Forensic genealogy, which uses DNA databases to identify potential relatives of suspects,
Right.
has become a game changer in recent years. It's led to breakthroughs in countless cold cases,
Yeah.
providing investigators with new leads that they never would have had before. It's incredible to think that even if a suspect's DNA isn't in a criminal database,
Right.
their relatives' DNA could be the key to cracking the case.
Exactly.
It's like a whole new avenue of investigation has opened up.
Exactly. And social media has also become a powerful tool for cold case investigators.
Right.
They can use it to connect with witnesses, gather information, and even identify potential suspects.
So even though social media wasn't around when Cammie disappeared, it's now playing a role in the search for her killer. It's like technology is helping to bridge that gap in time.
You could say that, and then there's the power of the media.
Right.
While media coverage can sometimes be sensationalized or unhelpful,
Right.
it can also be a powerful force for good in cold cases.
Yeah.
Bringing renewed attention.
Right.
To these cases and generating new leads.
Absolutely. A well-placed news story,
Yeah.
a compelling podcast episode, a viral social media post, any of these things can bring a cold case back into the spotlight,
Right.
prompting people to come forward with information they might have forgotten.
Right.
Or dismissed as insignificant.
And sometimes that that one small detail, that seemingly insignificant piece of information can be the missing link that investigators need to finally solve the case.
It's a reminder that we all have a role to play in the pursuit of justice.
Yeah.
We can share information, we can raise awareness, and we can support the families of victims.
Exactly. These cases are not just abstract mysteries. They represent real people, real lives lost, and real families who are still searching for answers.
Yeah, it's a responsibility we all share. Now let's talk about the emotional impact of cold cases.
Yeah.
Not just on the families of victims, but on the investigators who dedicate their lives to solving these crimes.
It's a tough job, no doubt about it. Imagine, poring over gruesome details,
Right.
chasing dead-end leads,
Yeah.
knowing that the person responsible for this horrific act
Right.
might still be out there,
Right.
living a normal life.
It must be incredibly frustrating and emotionally draining.
It is, and there's a real risk of burnout, becoming jaded,
Yeah.
losing hope.
Yeah.
But what's amazing is that so many cold case investigators persevere,
Yeah.
driven by a deep sense of commitment to the victims and their families.
What keeps them going when the odds seem so stacked against them?
I think it's a combination of things.
Yeah.
A belief that everyone deserves justice.
Yeah.
A desire to bring closure to grieving families, and maybe a bit of stubbornness.
Yeah.
A refusal to let evil win.
It's a powerful thing, that unwavering dedication to justice. And it's inspiring to see how these investigators never give up hope, even after years, even decades of working on these cases.
It's a testament to the human spirit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
The belief that even in the darkest of times, the truth can prevail.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
It makes you realize that these cold cases,
Yeah.
they're not just about solving crimes.
Right.
They're about reaffirming our faith in humanity, in our capacity for compassion,
Right.
and in our unwavering pursuit of justice.
Beautifully said. And that brings us back to Tammy's case, right?
Yeah.
Despite the lack of a clear resolution, it's not a story of defeat.
Yeah.
It's a story of resilience, of community,
Right.
of hope enduring.
You're absolutely right, and I think a lot of that has to do with the incredible efforts of the Facebook group.
Right.
Those motorcycle rides, that memorial soccer game, all these people coming together to ensure that Tammy's memory lives on and that the search for her killer continues.
They've turned a tragedy into a movement.
Yeah.
A testament to the power of collective action and the unwavering belief that justice, no matter how long it takes, is worth fighting for.
It's a truly inspiring story, one that reminds us that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, the human spirit can prevail.
Right.
But let's not forget those who have been most affected by Tammy's loss, her family.
You're right. It's easy to get caught up in the details of the case.
Yeah.
The theories, the speculation.
Yeah.
But at the heart of it all is a family that's endured unimaginable pain.
Yeah.
A family that's been robbed of a daughter, a sister, a friend.
And a family that deserves answers.
Absolutely. They deserve to know what happened to Tammy.
Yeah.
Why it happened and who is responsible.
And they deserve to see justice served.
They do. And we as a community have a responsibility to support them in their quest for justice, to keep Tammy's memory alive.
Right.
And to never give up hope that her killer will be brought to account.
Well said. Now before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier.
Okay.
The importance of community involvement in cases like this.
Yes, that's crucial. We've talked extensively about the Facebook group.
Right.
But it's important to remember that that anyone anywhere could hold the key to solving this case.
That's right. Someone out there might have a piece of information, a memory, a detail,
right,
that they've dismissed as insignificant, but that could be the missing piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. And even if you think you don't have any information, just sharing Tammy's story,
right,
keeping her case in the public eye, can make a difference.
Yeah, it's about keeping the pressure on.
Right.
Reminding the world that Tammy's life mattered, that her case deserves to be solved, and that her family deserves justice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And remember, even the smallest detail can be significant. Something you might think is trivial could be the missing piece of the puzzle for investigators.
So if anyone out there has any information about Tammy's case, no matter how small or insignificant it might seem.
Yeah, you need to come forward. Contact the Illinois State Police Division of Criminal Investigations Zone 3 at 815-726-6377.
Or the FBI Chicago Field Division at 312-421-6700. And remember, you can always remain anonymous.
Don't let fear or doubt hold you back. Your tip could be the one that finally brings closure to this case.
It's incredible how this one case, this one tragedy has created such a ripple effect. It's about Tammy, of course, but it's become so much bigger than that.
It really has. It's about community. It's about resilience. It's about the unwavering pursuit of justice.
And it's a reminder that we all have a role to play in making our world a safer place.
Absolutely. Whether it's being more aware of our surroundings, looking out for one another, or speaking up when we see something that doesn't seem right. We all have a part to play.
And for those of you listening, we really encourage you to visit and join the Who Killed Tammy Zywicki Facebook group.
It's an incredible resource for information, a way to connect with others who are passionate about finding answers, and a testament to the power of community.
Tammy's story may be a tragedy, but it's also a testament to the strength of the human spirit.
The dedication of those who continue to search for answers, the community that has rallied around her memory, and the hope that continues to burn brightly all serve as a powerful reminder that that even in the darkest of times, light can prevail.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive today. Thanks for joining us.
It was a pleasure being here. Thanks for having me.